wonderful world of Disney. Nature's Better Built Homes. From the beginning of time, the harsh elements of nature have presented mankind with a problem. For our protection, we've had to build a variety of shelters. To make them more livable, we've erected our dwellings in whatever styles suited the climate, the terrain, and our personal tastes. But our man-made architecture is by no means original. Comparison of our shelters with other animal architecture reveals an amazing parallel and makes an inspiring subject for a book, Nature's Better Built Homes, by Ranger J. Audubon Woodlore.
Free balloons! Free cigars! Prizes! Trading stamps! See the TV stars! Hurry, hurry, hurry! All these ballyhoo promotions for the selling of a tract to intrigue potential buyers and encourage them to act use advertising methods that all of us disdain. I don't approve of any such campaign. Conversely, Mother Nature offers housing with a quiet type of cell. She caters to a, shall we say, distinguished clientele. No banners wave or beckon, no salesmen call or shout. And yet her subdivisions are entirely sold out. Nature's Better Built Homes, Nature's Better Built Homes. Come see the many models on display. You'll note that trees and shrubs are placed to please the most aesthetic taste, and values here are rising every day.
One might live in a tree or live under the ground or on a site that may not look like much.
To win the seal of excellence, the builder of each residence will have to add his own distinctive touch. There are no hidden charges, no tax or escrow fee. The price is nothing down, all payments free. The fine print in the contract presents no dire threats. Just one requirement, children and pets. For your building supplies, you'd be very unwise if you should try to order them by phone. Your sand and feathers, twigs and clay, dry leaves and pebbles, grass and hay are right here on the property you own. If this sounds perfect to you and you think you can do without your modern plastics and your chromes, write Mother Nature, care of me, to see if there's a vacancy in Nature's Better Built Home. Nature's builders have no schools, not one attends a lecture. Yet every species knows to build its type of architecture, endowed not just with instinct, which naturally is a must, but also with good building tools that never dull or rust. The very tools man uses, advantageously and well, can all be found in nature too, in striking parallel. Do you marvel at bulldozers when everyone bulldozes? Prairie dogs bulldoze too, with soft and tender noses, stirred by the rhythmic pounding of a pneumatic drill. Woodpeckers do this work with a high-speed bill. Man excavates with dynamite. There's power in those sticks. Well, kangaroo rats excavate with strong explosive kicks. Trains lift heavy objects efficiently, I grant. No less remarkable are the mandibles of an ant. Yes, each tool employed by man in his building art has somewhere in nature its counterpart. And when construction's finished, Mother Nature smiles, proud and pleased to gaze upon the multitude of styles. Now this home of a mole might be classed on the whole as early subterranean design. That lovely place up there, you see, depicts the informality toward which all eagle architects incline.
In this boreal mist, there's a feeling expressed one only finds in classic Baltimore. And here is something small but nice, the domicile of harvest mice. A lot of hay was spent on this decor.
The bold use of adobe, as shown in this abode, exemplifies the mud wasp building code.
The use of peel green saplings is no designer's quirk, but strong indication of beavers at work.
Well, now I beg you to sit while we tarry a bit and watch the way a beaver family groans to finish what they've all begun, for they've begun constructing one of nature's better-built homes.
Have you ever wondered where the expression working like a beaver originated? Here, that's where. For we're looking at Buster Beaver himself in the middle of a logging operation. With sharp chiseled teeth, these beavers can cut down trees 5 inches thick in a few minutes. Young saplings serve a dual purpose. They're perfect as building material, and they can provide a good square meal as well. Let's follow Buster as he hurries to repair a leak in his swimming pool. A beaver's pool is not only a necessity, it increases property value and enhances the social image. Lumber is floated down to plug the leak in the main wall or dam. Next time, perhaps. That's better. News of the repaired pool gets around fast. Here come the uninvited otters for a morning dip. Buster's quite tolerant of these neighborhood pests, but how come they're never around when there's work to be done? At last, the otters tire of their play and are off to mess around somewhere else. On his own private island of decayed vegetation stands Buster's lodge house. The dome roof is all that's visible. To enter, one must submerge. No need to knock, the door's always open. Uh-oh, surprise guests. 2 muskrats, distant cousins, have come to call and have made themselves to home. Buster doesn't really mind, but they do have a musky smell when they're wet. Whew. Well, maybe they'll only stay for the weekend. In winter, a beaver's better-built home requires little or no attention. Biggest chore is keeping the pool open for quick trips to the woods. An occasional reinforcement may be needed for the dam or a fresh item for the pantry. These winter trips are always risky business. Buster gambles he can gather food and return before some hungry cat can spot him. Safe and sound, Buster Beaver makes it home, while Charlie Cougar just doesn't make it, period.
We are privileged this day to be invited to inspect a group of open houses most unique. I prevailed upon the kindness of each owner architect, all of whom are moving in this week. There will be a short delay before our trip begins. I'll slip into something comfortable. Aqualung and fins. And now let's meet the builders who own the patent rights for nature's better-built homes on underwater sites.
Let's try to locate the water bell spider. That's the first name on our list. Watch for the small subaquatic resider whose home can be easily missed. We'll scour the brooks and the rivers, the lakes and the ponds and the pools. Of its location we've this information. It's close to some wonderful schools. Don't talk to that grouch with the cramped disposition. He surely wouldn't reply. Condition should move to a climate that's dry. Ah, Eureka, we found it. Now who owns that silvery dome? Why, no one except Mrs. Waterbell Spider. Good, we've caught her at home.
most outstanding feature of Mrs. Waterbell Spider's home is its air conditioning system. It's not automatic. The system depends upon the manual gathering of a bubble of air at the surface and pulling it down to the underwater living room. With each trip, the living room grows larger within its expandable walls. The house doesn't float away, for it's tied securely to its landscaping. Bubbles can be unmanageable at times, but if you drop one, at least it doesn't fall on your toes. And nothing is gained by trying to save trips carrying too big a bubble. The home, when finally fully inflated, is a nice, dry, homespun dwelling where a patter of hundreds of tiny feet is completely dependent upon Mrs. Waterbell Spider's patented manual air conditioning system.
This is 8 section, is all residential, zone to eliminate noise. Yet the most dignified and influential at times act like overgrown boys. The wealth here is under the surface, where beautiful homes catch your eye. Once in a while there's an obsolete style that an out-of-town sucker will buy. The citizens mostly are modest and quiet, some in fact hide in their shell. Rarely is there any neighborhood riot which local bulls can't quickly quell. There is our host at his dwelling. Just see how his work never lags. Poor Stickleback toils without ever rebelling, while his little wife nags.
Mr. Stickleback is trying to build a honeymoon dream house while his wife gives him a bad time. Like other nervous, expectant mothers, Mrs. Stickleback is finding fault with everything. The location, the design, even the building materials. Still, the love nest is taking shape. Now, let's see. One more stick should do it. No, not this one, however. This is a walking stick, an insect that won't stick. The honeymoon cottage is finished. Mrs. Stickleback should be all smiles now. But no, she's still complaining. Change this, change that, yakety, yakety, yak. Wifey at last is satisfied. She enters the new house to lay her eggs. As soon as she's through, Mr. Stickleback kicks her out of the house. The husband will now take charge of fertilizing and hatching the eggs. The honeymoon is over. Wife is sent away because a stickleback mother is cannibalistic and will eat her own eggs. A trespassing salamander is chased off the property. He, too, has an egg-eating reputation. When the offspring arrive, they immediately start to wander away from home. Keeping these little tykes in the house is really a mouthful for Mr. Stickleback. The kids will grow up fine under such loving care. And why not? They're from a good, broken home.
Construction trade is looking rosy, the building boom is here. Smaller houses, snug and cozy, are the rage this year. These caddis-fly homes are basic, no closets or shelves. They build their shacks like shapeless sacks all around themselves.
Bits of vegetation, sticks, or gravel webbed together make up the home of the caddis-fly larva. The unique feature of this shelter is it doubles as an overcoat.
The saltwater set is immensely elated since it caught wind of our tour. This is the moment for which they've awaited to pose for the rotograph view. Click! Some are perhaps overdressing, absorbed in the throes of their zeal. Others are leaning toward vacuum cleaning to win this good housekeeping seal. You'll notice the gardens of fabulous flowers on either side of the street. Here one can spend his retiring hours as part of the idle elite. And one of these is the jawfish, whose home is a trifle offshore. Say, I wonder why he appears so standoffish with his neighbor next door.
This looks like the beginning of a squabble between neighboring jawfish. These two have been feuding for a long time now. Both are in the process of gathering materials to build spite fences around their properties. This is a private fight. Nosy neighbors are unwelcome and firmly advised to keep off the premises. Neither spite fence is making any progress. You see, there are materials enough for only one fence. Every so often, each jawfish's rock and shell pile mysteriously dwindles. No one is accusing anyone, yet, but each suspects, you know who. Aha, caught red-handed. Well, these jawfish feuds are fairly common. No use getting swallowed up in this one.
Most humans live near humans, in their towns and cities mainly. In homes, apartments, and in towers tall. The crowds, the noise, the bustle, the push, the drive, the hustle. Oh, it would appear these things attract them all. In nature, too, we find this situation is apparent. And if we took a survey, we would see that many of the creatures enjoy the basic features of togetherness in their community. They're all community dwellers, and they don't like living aloof. These birds called weavers are great believers in living under one roof.
In this fine city of Hornets, the population's immense. 10,000 neighbors with sharpened sabers provide the city's defense.
Here is a great termite tower. Oh, let's leave this group in peace, for they can devour their landlord and their lease. You take the aunts and all of their uncles through competition and strife, and they find sublimity in proximity of community life.
Buffalo herd together in a group. Monkeys stick together in a troop. Hippos go where other hippos are.
Herrings keep together in a jar. There's safety in numbers. Divided we fall, all for one, and one for all community dwellers.
The penguins gather in flocks. About their nesting they keep suggesting, let's have one more on the rocks. And though the homes of flamingos are supervised and controlled, each son and daughter is in hot water before they're 7 days old.
And looking off in the distance, I do believe I see the perfect existence of civic harmony.
Come on, let's drop down in for a visit. Yeah, boy, we'll do her up round. You won't be buttoning, we'll go strutting in Main Street Prairie Dog Town.
And meet the little fellers, a rooty tooty tooty, living in the cellars, a rooty looty dooty, community dwellers of Prairie Dog Town.
A new family has just moved into Prairie Dog Town. There's so much to do around a new home, enlarging the reception hall entrance, landscaping, yard work in general. With renewed spirit and civic pride, they'll rebuild their little home, and they'll remain here, happy and content among the community dwellers of Prairie Dog Town.
We've got some new arrivals just this week. Let's move in closer and take a peek. Aw, looky there. Now, isn't that cute? Here's a picture I've just got to shoot. Shh, shh, go back to sleep. Like all doting parents, I carry with me a wallet of snapshots of my family. Now, this little guy I raised from a pup. I taught this one to swim and him to sit up. This one I fed mashed potatoes and plums, and when he cut his first tooth, I massaged his gums. Oh, I've changed babies, bathed babies, and held them so dear. Twice I was voted Mother of the Year. However, I'm not really their mother. Now, nature's nurseries are chosen carefully in the wild, for of primary concern is the safety of the child.
Correct.
Huh?
Said.
He'd absolutely hit it on the head.
Yes, you're right, Ranger Woodlord, just as right as you can be. We try to be careful when we choose a nursery.
Safety is the thought when we select it. Well camouflaged so others can't detect it.
What is more helpless than a brand new baby bird?
We don't want him seen or want him heard.
Babies must be hidden when the predators prowl.
Predators, I always say, have eyes like an owl.
Yes, the one thing always chosen carefully is a nature's nursery. Each day I tell my kids that danger's always near. They just don't believe that there is anything to fear.
Innocent and cute is how they reckon.
But you can't take your eyes off them a second.
Don't talk to strangers. That's a point I always pound.
We have lots of evil ones around.
I don't have to worry. All my kids have been trained. They stay home and keep themselves quite well entertained. Right this very moment, I am sure they'll be safe inside their nursery.
How can she be sure this moment they will be safe inside their nursery?
What's that?
Oh, dear, it sounds like little Orville.
Hey, Mom!
I just can't trust you out of my sight. Oh, wait until I tell your father. Oh, my goodness, I don't know what I'm going to... Oh, dear me.
Whoa, that was close.
My heart within my beak.
I told you there were evil ones around.
One thing that is always chosen carefully is the nature's nursery.
Life in the wild is a series of close shaves. But it's not all bad. For example, on a field trip with Mom. Wilderness parents fawn over their offspring is beautiful to see. Love, care, and devotion fill each nursery. But when at last the time comes to put all thoughts away, this, I think, is the finest hour of the day.
As the night draws its shades and the setting sun fades, old moon rises slowly and roams to light and to bliss with a soft tenderness. All of nature's better built homes. Though some young fellows might have big plans for the night, it's so hard to stifle a yawn, and mischievous schemes soon will turn into dreams, and there won't be a whimper till dawn. Cozy and snug and tucked into bed, waiting for mother's embrace. A kiss and a hug, and each droopy head is falling asleep on his face. When the world is at rest and the stars shine their best and clouds form their heavenly domes, there all through the land there's a God